Hey guys, doing it's Mike the Star Turtle, and this is my review for Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 1, The Red Woman. I have to say, I think this is my least favorite season premiere. Like, Game of Thrones season premieres have never been their strongest episodes. Like, there's a few decent ones. But, like I say, I thought this one was pretty lackluster. After last season, I really was looking forward to Game of Thrones, especially these past couple months. And, I don't know, I don't want to say let down, but because I know we still got 9 more episodes coming, but I feel like this, even though season 5 premiere didn't have much going on, I still think it was better because it felt like a more satisfying episode if I remember correctly. I've rewatched it recently, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll rewatch it and change my mind. But from everything I've seen, I think this is the my least favorite season premiere of Game of Thrones. It's still good, still got a couple awesome moments in it, which I'll get into, but so let's break it down. Let's first start with the wall. Gotta start with the wall, right? After what happened the final shot of that last season. Jon Snow, in the words of Sir Davos, the Onion Knight, in his immortal words, he's gone. Jon Snow is dead. We kind of knew that already, but will he get resurrected? I don't know. At this point, it's 50-50. I mean, even if he does get resurrected, it probably won't be till late in the season. And the thing is, even if he isn't resurrected, that actually, at the very least, that would prevent that whole thing at the end of the last season from being a fake out. Because after what happened with Glenn in the last season of The Walking Dead. The showrunners of all different types of shows should know that people really hate fake outs these days when it comes to that kind of stuff, fake out character deaths. So if they actually end up resurrecting him, I hope there's enough of a cost that it's justified. But again, that didn't happen this episode, so I'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So yeah, I love that opening tracking shot, even though the trailer already kind of gave it away. But the sound effects are obviously different. And they're ominous, like the wind, plus ghosts howling. Why the hell he wasn't howling when they first brought Jon Snow out for the ambush, I don't know. This is clearly literally a few minutes after. I don't know about a few minutes, but because it seems like it's dawn when it was still in the middle of the night when Jon Snow got stabbed. But this can't be that long after, like an hour or two at most. So I guess Ghost was asleep. I don't know. If Ghost was out hunting or something like that, then I would have understood that why it would have taken him a lot longer to get back. But I don't get why he wasn't howling when they first brought Jon Snow and at the very least when they first started stabbing him. So I don't know. But Davos found him. So did Ed. And him, Ed, and the 3 or 4 guys that are still loyal to Jon. I assume the 3 or 4 guys that were with him in Hardhome, so they know what the fucking score is, because no one else seems to fucking get it. No one else at the wall. We got a little speech with Alistair and the rest of the Night's Watch. The 45 of them that are still alive that weren't with Jon's body. And I love how he justifies it by saying, "Yeah, I always followed orders." So I guess that's why he opened the gates for him instead of just. If he still didn't get why he should have just kept the gates closed. It's not like they would be able to fight them off across the wall. Most of them were civilians anyway. There weren't many warriors. They probably just could have killed them all from up top. But also using the justification that he's never not the justification, but saying that he's never followed orders. Sorry, he's always followed orders and never disobeyed an order. As for how he's justified. Basically, he hates the wildlings and he hated Jon, and that's pretty much why he did it. But because killing him makes no difference now, because the wildlings are already on the other side of the wall, so there's no fucking point in killing him now. What's done is done. There aren't any other wildlings left. They're all either dead or whites. So I'm not sure this is his own grudge. I can't think. That's the only thing he had to gain by doing this. And Ollie, same reason. He felt betrayed that Jon was cuddling with the wildlings that killed his family. So, at least in his mind, it was probably cuddling. But Davos and most of the men, except Ed went off to try and go find help from the wildlings because they got nowhere else to turn to. And Davos and in the room, and they're just trying to hold out. And Ghost is there too, and Alistair attempting to persuade them to open the door, and lying that he would give them that he would wouldn't hold them responsible and spare their lives if they just gave up now. I was really hoping we'd see that fight from the trailers that the trailers were teasing. We did not get to see it. Instead, we got that final shot of Melisandre stripping naked and revealing that she's actually 200 years old. I'm fairly certain that old person was actually probably even a dude. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a dude, like an old woman bodysuit. Personally, that's just maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but that's what the impression I got. No, but then she just went to. I do think that little scene at the end is a little drawn out. Could have been like about 20 or so seconds shorter. Personally, my opinion. I was really hoping we at least get to see somewhat of a fight scene. Maybe at least have its first start before they cut the credits. But nope, that was the final shot, which I was not happy about. But we'll see what happens. Still the first episode, so I'm looking forward to seeing that fight scene. We still haven't really seen Sir Davos fight, so it'd be nice to see the Onion Knight show the traitors, Castle Black, who's boss, see if he might get his ass handed to him because he's not much of a fighter, as he says. Anyway, let's get the shittiest part out of the way first. Dorne. Shittiest part out of the way second, next, because I don't know why I said first. Sorry about that. But next, Dorne. After all that, yeah, the whole Dorne storyline was not handled properly. I mean, I'm not a book reader. I mean, I know how, I don't know, but I've heard how awesome the Sand Snakes are, how much more awesome and more likable they are in the books compared to they are in the show. Because I gotta say, they're kind of horrible, unlikable bitches in this show. I mean, they're kind of hot, but other than that, so Dr. Julian Bashir is dead. Duran. Or Doran. I think it was Doran. And one of the greatest fighters in Westeros, Hoda, I think his name was, stabbed in the back by Tyene. I guess because there's no way she could have took him in a straight fight, so that's why she had to stab him in the back. That's the only justification I can see for that. But yeah, Ellaria is pretty much in charge now, and all of Duran's men pretty much turned on him at a second notice, which is a shame. Really, 'cause I really like Alexander Siddig, and he was underused. I'm told he was actually a really good fan of the show and the series too, so it's a shame. He actually originally auditioned to play Oberyn, which is interesting. But I do think he was a little too old for that role. But if they'd done it back in the '90s, right after Deep Space Nine ended, but they would have been cool to see him in that role. But then that would have happened back then. Plus, I really would not want to have seen Dr. Bashir's head get squished by the mountain while he screams in horrible agony like a bitch. That would have been really horrible to see have that happen to Dr. Bashir. It was bad enough on the actor who did play Oberyn seeing that. But I gotta let that go. I know I keep bringing that up, but I mean, we'll see what happens with Dorne. I mean, at this point, I kind of hope the Sand Snakes die horrible deaths. Maybe not as horrible as their father did, but still, I'd love to see them get brutally murdered now because I don't like any of them. They're hot. Indira Varma is also hot, but other than that, I don't like any of them. I'm sorry, and it's because they're the only notable. Actually, not only are the Sand Snakes some of the few notable badass female characters aside from Brienne who actually hold their own. Aside from Brienne, who could actually hold their own in a fight, but they're also the few non-Caucasian characters on this show that have their own storyline. So yeah, that's anyway. Arya is blind, and that what's her name? That waif. I think that's what she's called. That waif chick is still fucking with her. Only this time she's doing it while Arya is blind, and looks like she's gonna have to train to be Daredevil because. What else can she do? Again, whether or not she'll get her sight back or not, again, 50-50. We never know with this show. But it was a brief scene. We did finally get to see the Titan of Braavos again, though. Just to remind us just that it's there. That was a cool little shot. King's Landing. All we got to see were Cersei and Jaime. And Cersei just... After all the shit she's been through, after all the losses she's suffered, she's just... maybe kind of numb, but also kind of the fact she's kind of resigned the fact that resigned to her fate, that they're all fucked, and there's nothing she can do to stop it anymore. That witch was right, and she was a mistake for her to ever even go and get her prophecy told by her. She's really regretting that now. She's not, but she's not angry at Jamie. She's not even, doesn't even seem angry at the Martells. I'm sure she is. But it looked like she almost looked like she was about to, maybe not commit suicide, but she was about to pretty much give up. And then Jamie gave her a bit of a pep talk. And I think she's still kind of accepted the fact that they're all fucked. But I think at the very least she's willing to take as many of the fuckers as they can with them. And of course, Rhaena Casimir playing in the background during that scene. So the last Lannisters. Brief scene with Margaery and the High Sparrow. Not much to report there. Well, I gotta give her credit. She lasted a lot longer than Cersei. She still hasn't confessed. It's also nice to see that the High Sparrow, he may be a fanatic, but he's not heartless. He does care in his own fanatical way about people, and he seems somewhat sympathetic to Margaery, and he wants her to confess. He wants her to purge her sins. Almost forgot before I got on King's Landing, because this technically happened in King's Landing. Prince Trystane is also dead by the other two Sand Snakes. Kind of stupidly, we didn't even get a chance to see him fight because he was stupid to turn his back on one of the Sand Snakes, and the other. Although at least the plan wasn't originally to actually let him take on one at a time, and Abara was impatient. Really wanted to see him on the small council too. So, and as for people who thought that he was acting a little bit weird, that considering his poor woman love just died, and that the other two Sand Snakes, Abara and whatever the other one's name is, managed to get there. I imagine it's been like a week or two, at least several days. So that's probably why how they got there. So that's why he's not crying anymore. He's just it looked like painting the funeral stones put on her eyes when they bury her. I think I'm pretty sure that's what he was making. A lot of people didn't catch that because I'd seen other people reviews, none of them caught that. So that's what I think is going on. But he's still upset. But it's been a few days, so he's had enough time to cry. So he's still depressed. But he's doing his duty. He's gonna try to, for the funeral, all that good stuff. So he's trying to do his duty to the woman he loved. Damn those damn snakes. Marcel was probably the only Lannister who was totally innocent. Was like, even Cersei was like, yeah, she was like, I don't even know where the hell she came from. All right, Meereen. Got to see a little bit of Tyrion and Varys just walking around the streets of Meereen. The streets are pretty much deserted and burnt out, probably due to rioting. Lots of homes destroyed, and most people just off the streets because they're too afraid to go out. I love Varys' little line. Yeah, you walk like a rich person. Like, how do you know? Like, everything everyone spends their life studying how the way rich people walk. I'm like, yeah, you walk like a rich person. Of course, Varys doesn't really walk like a common person either. I guess he kind of walks more like a monk, honestly. So maybe he makes up for it that way. But the Red Priestesses and priests and the whole Lord of the Light religion is in Meereen now. We still haven't seen that red woman that we've seen in the trailers, who's going to be pretty much the Melisandre in Meereen that they're going to be interacting with at some point. Nor do we see Grey Worm or Missandei. I mean, I don't really think they're either of them interesting characters, but Missandei's hot and Grey Worm's a badass. Other than that, I can wait to see them. No big deal. And all Dany's ships have been burned. I mean, I don't know. They might still somehow at least set sail to Westeros by the end of the season. I'm really hoping they will. I'm not saying they will land in Westeros, but I really hope they at least set sail for it, or at least make preparations to sail for it at the end of the season. Because I'm getting impatient. I want 2 seasons of Endgame. I don't want just 1 season of Endgame. You know what I mean? But the fleet's on fire. We'll see the repercussions of that later. Daario and Jorah. Almost forgot his name. Good old Jorah Mormont. Both in love with Dany. Both trying to find her. I'm still not sure if Daario is one of the Sons of the Harpy. He still might be. A lot of people are saying he's the leader. I don't know if he's the leader. But I do think he's possibly one of the Sons of the Harpy. But he does things for Daenerys. That's why he kind of defended her when the Harpies attacked in the arena. And why he said he kind of wished she would leave. Because he kind of wants her out of there. He doesn't want to have to kill her. But I'm not saying for sure that's what the case is. Maybe I'm wrong. But we'll see what happens. And of course, George still got his grayscale. It's getting worse. I mean, I want to say he'll be dead by the end of this season. But again, I said that last season, so I'm not gonna put any money either way at this point. Dany is now in the capital, Dothraki city of Vos Dothrak, and she was able to talk her way out of getting raped by making sure they knew that she was the woman of Khal Drogo, which, actually, there is some honor among the Dothraki. I thought that wouldn't matter at all, but apparently it did. But now she's gonna pretty much go into to rot in a crypt, not a crypt, but like rot in like it's basically a convent with all the other Kyle's widows. So it doesn't look like she'll be back in Marine anytime soon. But hopefully, I really hope she will be by the end of the second half. Like hopefully by episode 5 she'll be back in Marine. But definitely in the next couple episodes she'll be over there. It's nice they have a little more scale to, a little more budget to show the scale of how big a Dothraki horde really is. So that's nice. We did not get to see that in season 1. Now let's go to the best moment of the episode. Well, the stuff in the north. Best moments, to be exact. It looks like that Ramsay really did love Miranda. Or I don't know if he necessarily loved her, but she was probably one of the few people that he generally had affection towards. She was the only person when he was like 11 years old. Everyone was afraid of him, even the Maester. But she was the only one who wasn't afraid because she was just as vicious as he was. So yeah, the two of them went back a long way. And then he's like, yeah, don't bother burning or burying her. Just feed her to the dogs because don't waste good meat. And the thing is, I honestly don't. I think he believes that she wouldn't have cared. Maybe she wouldn't have, and maybe he wouldn't have cared either if somebody did that to him. I honestly don't know for sure. But I do think he generally did care about her, and he's gonna want revenge for this. I just realized I was watching some of the scenes in season 3 on YouTube, and she was actually one of the chicks who was there right when Theon's dick got cut off. Like, she was one of the chicks trying to get him up one last time before Ramsay came in and didn't even do it. I forgot he didn't do it himself. He has what some of his men do it because he sees a sadist, but even he won't go to those places. He'll just order men to do it for him. But Roose is obviously a little pissed at him for the fact that Sansa got away because of Theon. I'm honestly not sure if Roose legitimately still loves Ramsay, or if he's just doing this because he knows this will goad him into doing better and getting Sansa back, or if he actually really doesn't really give a shit about Ramsay because he really is a bastard. I don't know. I honestly don't know what Roose's whole game is. Actually, a lot of people are saying that Ramsay's gonna end up killing his father. I really kind of hope that doesn't happen. I kind of really. Because I like evil characters like that still getting humanized. Like we had that moment with Miranda. I want to actually find out that he really does love his father. Would never do that to him, and his father does love him if he has a. But Bruce is pretty shitty person too. Like if he loves somebody, he has ways of showing it. Like the way when Ramsay and Miranda were fucking last season. Like they have their own ways of showing their affection to each other, but that doesn't necessarily mean they don't love each other. You know what I mean? So it's not that I'm implying that Bruce and Ramsay are having incestuous sex, but you know what I'm saying. You're the kind of people who, you know what I'm saying. Before it gets any weird, I'll get off that topic. But then we got to see probably the single best scene in the whole series, which was the whole chase scene with Brienne and Sansa desperately trying to get away from the Bolton hunters. Why the fuck Ramsay wasn't with them? Because usually Ramsay's the kind of guy who likes to do that kind of shit himself. At least hunting. Anyway, he loves hunting. If you play the Game of Thrones game, which by the way you should, because even if you're not a video game fan, some of his best moments are in that game. Because he's awesome in that fucking game, with the voice actor and all that stuff. But he loves his hunting. So I don't really know. I'm surprised he actually wasn't there because he was too busy screaming for Miranda. But I imagine he'll get on that hunt himself because he's personal for him and he loves hunting anyway. So. But yeah, so they desperately try to escape the Bolton soldiers hunting him. They desperately try to cross a river in ice cold temperatures. Scan's like in horrible agony at the freezing cold. And Theon, after all the agony that's been inflicted on him, he's probably just used to it by now. He's probably just he's totally unfazed by it, which you can't blame him after everything he's been through. Like it's hard to like. But he's talking better though. I noticed that he's not like hesitating and shaking all the time. And looked like they were cornered and trapped in a tree. And then in comes Brienne to save the day. And even Gendry actually... Sorry, Podrick. I get Gendry and Podrick confused because I really think both those actors look pretty similar. Plus, we haven't seen Gendry since season 3. Hopefully, we'll see him again this season. Hopefully. Because it's been a little too long since we've seen him. But Pod actually got to kick a little bit of ass, too. And then Theon killed someone for the first time since he got captured. Well, actually, I don't remember if when Ramsay tried to fuck them by pretending to let him escape. I don't remember if he killed someone that time. I don't remember if Ramsay did all the killing, but that was a while ago. But yeah, he got to actually kill someone, pick up a sword and kill someone. You can tell, like, he was like, did I really just do that? This is probably the most. He probably feels more alive now than he has in quite a while. But yeah, I know. I'm not sure what they're gonna do with this character. Obviously, Sansa's going to be put in a much more great position of power, which is good. She's earned it at this point. She's obviously been one of the least favorite characters of a lot of people, including me. But hopefully they finally got some potential to do some cool stuff with her. So I'm glad. And it's the whole scene with Brienne like laying her sword at Sansa's feet, and like Sansa trying to recite the oath, whatever it's called, to her. Or the acceptance speech of her oath, whatever it's, I forget how it works. And then Pod of all people having to coach her through it. So we knew this. Everyone kind of knew this was going to happen, but it's good to finally see it. Definitely the best moment of the entire episode, and yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. I really hope he's probably going to die within this season, but I really hope he does. He dies kind of redeeming himself. He's kind of, I don't know if he's redeemed himself because he's still, even if he didn't kill Bran and Rickard, he still killed 2 innocent kids. So he's got a lot of way to go before he earns his redemption, if he even never truly earned a redemption for that. But I still hope he gets his more chances to do some kick-ass shit before they kill him. Because I do not see him living past this season. There's really not much more they can do with him. I just hope they do a few more cool things with him before the season ends. And then they kill him. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll be alive at the end. Who knows? But just my thoughts on it. All right, I think that covers it. I'm just trying to make sure. I think there's anything else I'm forgetting. No, I think that's it. Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, it's definitely not one of my favorites. Probably my least favorite season premiere of Game of Thrones, but it's still a good episode. And like it's still way better than most of the episodes, or at least a lot of the episodes of season 3 of Arrow. So there's that. But the whole Brienne, Sansa, Theon, and Pod scene was definitely the highlight. I'm looking forward to seeing more with those 4 interacting with each other. That'll be interesting to see. So a lot of characters we haven't seen yet. Still haven't seen the Iron Islands and the Iron Board. We know they're going to play a part, and no Bronn, which it makes sense because they probably the whole episode was already overloaded with other stuff. But I'm sure we'll see more Bronn, and probably definitely some more Tormund next season. Maybe we'll even get to see Wun. That'd be awesome. Hopefully he won't die. But then again, the CGI for Wun the Giant costs money, so you never know. The dragons are already expensive enough. All right, so I will see you guys next week.